Trading is closed on May 26, 2022. We always start with our disclaimer. This is my trading plan for Friday, May 27th. Remember, I can be completely wrong, and any trade you make should be at your own risk. We always go over our calls first. Look for the pattern with the early low, which is right here. Tomorrow should have the early high. We had a target 39.4704. We said unless we gapped up smartly, it should print. We gapped up smartly. That takes the time off the table, but not the price. So here's 2 days in a row we have to add targets to our list. We do get to cross one off. We had an ultimate target, 4026.76 from May the 18th, and that was hit today, so that gets crossed off the list. Next higher target, 4144.78, should print at some time. During the day, MEJT said this drop here was a false move, that we should break the high. We did that by a few pennies late in the day, so that's been satisfied. Normally, a wall into the close is something I look at as panic selling. I think there's a good chance we gap up over this tomorrow with the normal wall. Maybe that'll happen, I don't know. But I don't think that's panic selling. In this case, with just a few minutes left to trade, after rallying all day, you were under all these highs, which is a negative pattern if maintained at tomorrow's open. We had an obligate target to trade over this price. We had the target immediately reversed. So for now, at least, it looks like after this initial spurt, the market lost its enthusiasm, did its obligation to hit that price, and then rejected it. If we maintain this, after gapping up, hitting higher highs, closing under all of them, if we maintain this at tomorrow's open, we should trade lower. Doesn't mean that we close lower, but it's not the healthy pattern. But of course, what counts isn't this close, it's tomorrow's open. We open up here or gap in either direction and trade over here fast, all that negativity goes away. Well, after disappointing us many times by trying to call tops, the market stuff finally managed to call a bottom. I think we have higher to go. That doesn't mean we go higher tomorrow. Doesn't mean we don't either. Well, here was the break over this channel. We said unless it was reversed promptly, should trade 190 handles over this line. Well, tomorrow the line comes in at 3,900. That would take us to around 4190. I'm not saying it'll happen. And every day, the upside target becomes less and less. And this is a target, it's not a stop and reverse. But it tells you, regardless of what happens tomorrow, we still have good room on the upside. Now, usually when you break a channel like this in a straight line, at some time you return to this line. Doesn't mean it has to happen tomorrow. For it to happen tomorrow, we have to drop 157 handles. That's a bit too much for me. I think this was a pretty good move. But I don't know what will happen overnight. I don't know if there's some kind of news event. But if we do retrace here tomorrow, which I'm not predicting by any stretch of the imagination, I think we're going higher. But if we do drop to this line, this would be A, and this would be an ABC. And if that's A, C comes in at 61.8%. right at the line. So if we did drop to 3,900, I'd go long, but I think that's kind of a pipe dream at this point. That being said, there is resistance at today's high. Here was red A, here's red B. We're making, I think, red C. Here's gold A. If that's A and that's B, we've now traded over the end of A by exactly the same amount we've traded under the end of A. And furthermore, we have an ABC with C equal to A. Right there. And we've also filled the gap that we had here. So there is resistance here. There is failure to follow through. So tomorrow, if this holds, you could say that was blue A of gold B of red C, and there could be a drop. I'm not looking for 3,900, but forget it, it'll be a complete gift. Just realize you're at resistance. Really have to clear it quickly, ideally by gapping over it, or there should be a pullback. And I'm not saying that gapping over it's impossible. Resistance doesn't always hold. These are the patterns I'm looking for next week. Monday the markets close. Friday's pattern has the early high. It should have an early high, a midday rally, and a late low. Usually the late low is near the low of the day, but lately, and an inordinate number of these days have been positive instead, bullish, with the late low exceeding the level of the early high. So even though that's the pattern, and it's normally negative, it doesn't have to be. We gapped up at a higher high, but closed under midday highs. Unless we gap and promptly overtake today's high, should see lower prices, regardless of how we close. Such a gap up isn't impossible, as the rally should have further to go, regardless of what tomorrow brings. So we've actually made a pretty good bottom here. Doesn't mean we have to go up tomorrow. We're at resistance. It could hold. If it breaks, it should break early. And tomorrow's pattern has the early high, but don't be fooled. Doesn't mean the day won't be up if we get the gap up early, which I'm not predicting one way or the other. And that's today's call.